This is going to be an important video for young men, especially young men, because in our day and age, we as men, but specifically I want to be aiming at younger men in this video, have been completely cut off from our masculinity. We've been completely lied to, and the system or the society is structured in a way that makes men weak, beta, anxious, depressed, and a bunch of other shit. So I'm going to explain how it's done and how we can sort of overcome it, right? So there's 7 chakras in the human body, right? And so there's the root, which is the first one, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. Now, I'm not going to go over each one. I'm just going to stick to the root and the sacral. So the root chakra is your survival needs, right? Money, a house, friendships, right? All this sort of basic shit that human beings need. And your sacral chakra is sex, right? It's literally right in your like genital area. So that's where the sacral chakra is, and that's associated with relationships and sex, and particularly with the opposite sex. So when we have the society set up so that humans and men especially are always thinking about having sex and porn and basically that, then we have a problem, and we have people stuck in their lower nature, and they're not able to really self-actualize and look at the bigger picture of life because they're so focused on having sex, busting a nut, getting that release. And then, okay, so I should have started with the root chakra, but the root chakra, okay, survival, it's really money, right? So how do we keep people stuck? Working 9 to 5, working 8 hours, right? Focused on their job, focused on getting their next paycheck, right? And especially, I think it's worse for people that are in retail jobs where they get minimum wage, because that's the worst, because they're thinking, shit, I don't know if I'm going to have enough money to pay rent. I don't know if I'm going to have enough money to buy food this week. I don't know if I can pay for gas. And there's a bunch of other things too, right? If, you're always focused on eating your next meal, that's another way to keep people trapped. Men. Women too, really, I think it's more important for men, but women it's relevant for them too. But men, I think if men are weak, then the world's weak. I really believe that. And I'm not saying I'm misogynist or I'm against the feminine energy. No, absolutely not. I do yoga, I smoke weed, I meditate, I try to balance it, but I also lift. I'm out here making videos, I'm, trying to do the best of both worlds here. So, yeah, what was I talking about? So I was just saying, it's important for men to realize this, because I think it's important for men to become strong, like Elliot Hulse says, man. I think he's doing a great thing. And I'm here to sort of spread that word too. I think it's very important. So anyways, besides that, let's continue on. So what else? Eating, if you're always focused on getting your next meal, if you're always focused on having sex, getting laid, watching porn, smoking weed, playing video games, these instant things, and you're not thinking about the grand picture of reality of your life, of what you could be, of your potential, then this is great for the elites. This is great for their agenda, because they keep people stuck thinking short term, right? Am I going to be able to pay gas tomorrow? When's the next time I'm going to bust a nut? Where's my next meal, right? And, you can tell if you're in your lower nature if your thoughts are related to what I talked about, right? I know right now I'm probably in my solar plexus, right? Just sort of the way I've been thinking lately, right? So that's really how it's done. That's how it's done. That's how they keep men and women too. But again, I think it's more crucial for men. That's how they keep us trapped. That's how they keep us stuck. Always thinking about the short-term fix and not thinking about life, about what's going on, about anything, right? Politics is actually a distraction too, but that's another video. So what do you do about this? If you're a male, and by the way, if you're addicted to sex, if you're always eating shitty food for that pleasure, right, then you're definitely stuck in your lower chakras, right? If you're doing that consistently every day, there's no doubt that you're in your root chakra or sacral. And the thing with that is it's easy to be anxious, it's easy to be depressed when you're in these lower natures, right? Solar plexus, I think you're better off, obviously. The higher up you go, the more joy you're probably going to experience. So when you're in these two chakras, it's really tough to get going, going with whatever you're trying to do with your life, right? I remember last winter, around February, I was completely stuck. Just completely stuck. I was watching porn. I was like eating junk food every meal, almost every meal. Actually, at nighttime, for at least 2 months, every night, I would just go pig out on sweets, man. And then, I'd watch movies and shit, and it was just such a shitty place to be in, right? Like, negative thoughts, like, so many of them. That's all I could think about, of how, oh, I'm not in control. I started blaming the outside world for me fucking up. And, it's just not a good place to be in. You start to blame the outside world. You start to lose, you start to just be depressed and anxious and all the time, man. It's not a good place to be in. So what you should do is try to get yourself situated with not obsessing over sex, not obsessing over food, and not obsessing over smoking weed and just the next hit, right? Because if you're not, there's a good chance. If you're on NoFap and you're eating good and you're fasting and you're getting outside and, it doesn't matter if you don't have any friends and you're doing all that, you're still going to be happy. You're still going to be operating from at least the solar plexus and the heart. Maybe not the third eye, because the third eye, it's definitely hard to get up there when you're, I'm in school, and, it's really hard to be there when you're inside all the time and you're not connected with the earth. So, but I want to tell you guys, if you're suffering, if you feel weak, if you're anxious, if you're terrible with social interactions and you're just in a shitty fucking place right now, you have to realize that overcoming porn addiction is the first step. It has to be the first step. Focus on one thing at a time, I'd say, for you, right? If you're depressed, if you feel weak and you're a young kid, I understand. I'm young too. But you have to realize that when you jerk off, you're done. Like, you're gonna be stuck in your lower nature forever if you keep doing it. And if you're always eating shit food, then your gut's gonna be fucked up, right? So that blocks off your solar plexus, right? Because, if the energy can't move up if there's just, shit going on in your gut. If it's always chaos in your gut. So that's why I recommend that you guys start off with NoFap. Try 7 days, right? If we can just do 7 days, we can build a little bit of momentum, right? It's going to be hard, but you have to, what I did back a couple weeks ago when I was struggling, I took a journal and I took a blank Google Doc and I just reflected over everything, and I reinvigorated my mission and my purpose, and that sort of gave me the drive to go at it again, right? So yeah, that's important. Start off with NoFap. Try it. It's going to be difficult for someone who's habitually been doing it every day, right? And it's easy for me to sit here and talk because I'm doing it right now, but I know what it's like when you're in that cycle. It's very hard to get out. But if you can just do that, I'm telling you, you're on the fucking way to raising your energy through the chakras and getting out of those, getting out of that pit, right? And next is I would recommend fasting, because if you can clean up your gut, you know, even short fasts, like 18, 20 hours, if you do that consistently for a few days, your gut's going to be pretty clean. It won't be fully healed. It won't have all the toxins be released, but it'll be pretty good. So if you do that, I guarantee you, give that a month, honestly. If you can just give that 30 days of consistent effort, it's going to be tough, but you're going to notice during the 30 days that you're going to start feeling better. You're going to start feeling more like a man. Your testosterone's going to go up, of course, because if you're eating good and and you're not busting a nut, your testosterone's going to be way up there. And you're going to have so much fucking energy to do shit that you've been putting aside because you've been distracted with porn, you've been distracted with junk food, you've been distracted watching TV, you've been distracted smoking weed, video games, right? So if you can sort of look at this like, all right, I'm literally, if I do these things, I can change my life around in a very short time, then you're on the way to becoming a strong man. You're on the way to becoming joyful, blissful, and you can use the energy you have to share it with other people. So that's what I really think is the problem with men these days. They don't realize that they have the potential. When I ask people, especially, you know, some of my friends, like, what do you want to do? Like, and they tell me like all these like lofty ideas of them being like a music, or I give them like lofty ideas. I'm like, yo, why don't you try like music, or why don't you try something like that you're into, that you have, like, if you have a hobby of playing guitar, why don't you go do that? And they're like, no, I just do that, you know, for fun. And I'm like, yo, like, what do you mean, dude? If you enjoy that, if you enjoy playing guitar, why not try to make something of it? Why not try to go out and make money playing guitar? Right? Life's like, are you really gonna sacrifice, or are you really gonna put that off and go try to work a job when you're young, when you're in your teenage years, when you have a lot of energy? That's just so, like, it baffles me that people just think that these goals are so out of reach and they're so abstract. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just a matter of belief, man. If you can't, like, believe you can do it, then you're fucked. I don't know how this turned into a motivational rant. See, that's what happens. I'm in my solar plexus. I'm feeling powerful. I'm feeling like I want to inspire. But yeah, the main message here is I don't want to keep reiterating myself, but get on NoFap and start fasting. Start intermittent fasting. Clean up your gut. Reset your dopamine from chronic fucking use of porn. And I'm telling you, you're going to start feeling better. You're going to have more energy, and you're going to feel like a man. You're not going to be scared in social interactions. And you're just going to dominate life. You're going to be the best version that you could be. So anyways, that concludes this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to the right so you get notified when I upload. And if you have any questions, comments, or whatever, video recommendations, leave them down below. I will do my best to respond. And as always, I hope you guys have a good day. Peace.